Hey everybody, welcome back to another Minecraft Let's Play video. Last time I just walked around and talked, and if you hear that noise in the background, that is my washer and dryer, a classic guest that's been featured many times throughout many different Let's Plays and gameplay videos throughout the channel's history so far, so yeah, pretty commonplace character, if you don't mind. I spent some time offline trying to dig this little tunnel. Obviously, nothing has really happened since then. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna keep digging this here tunnel, and continue to yap. Honestly, I'm in the mood to yap it up, because I got some stuff I want to talk about. Not really, I'm lying. That's definitely cap. I have literally nothing to talk about. But if I say I have something to talk about, it gives me time. It gives me enough time to stall, so I can actually find something to talk about. Believe it or not. Does my head hit the ceiling when I do this? No, perfect. Awesome. Okay. So, I actually have some topics written down about some things that happened to me a long time ago. I had them written down for a Satisfactory video, but the Satisfactory series has turned more into me exploring and figuring out the game rather than like a Minecraft Let's Play where I'm just chilling and talking at the same time and not having to think as much. So I was at the gym a couple months ago when this happened, and I went to do tricep pushdowns, which, if you don't know what those are, essentially you're using these little dual rope end things, and you're just pushing down with your hands, and that works out your triceps very well. And so I went to go do that. But I saw this girl that was standing there, and I looked at her. I was like, "Hey, are you using this?" She said, "No, we're not. We should be fine. You know, we're not touching this." So I was like, "Okay, cool." I was like, "Is he using this?" Because there's a guy that was nearby who was talking to someone else. And she was like, "Oh no, I'm pretty sure he's finished. I'm pretty sure he's finished. You can use it." And I don't know what it is, but maybe it's just over time. Whenever I hear a maybe or a pretty sure or I think so, I just automatically assume that they also don't know. That the other person speaking to me just has no idea. If what they said is even true, or if, like, you know what I mean. So as soon as she said that, I was like, oh, like, I don't want to use the ropes if this guy's using it, you know. Like, I'm not gonna take this guy's thing if he's in the middle of his workout, you know. He just stopped to talk to someone he saw that he might know. Like, that shit happens all the time. It's more frequent than you might think. So I was like, okay. I'll, and I started using it. I did one set, and the guy turned around. As soon as I finished the set, the dude turned around. I was like, oh, he's gonna realize that I just took his shit. So I started getting worried. I was like, oh, hey, I'm sorry. Did you have, like, more workouts to do? And he's like, oh, no, I finished that a long time ago. I'm just standing here. Because he turned around and he, like, put his head in his hands like he was thinking. There's lava nearby. I'm gonna try and dig for it, because there could be a cave nearby. But yeah, he turned around and put his chin in his hand. Dude was really hitting the thinker pose on me. And so I automatically, I'm like, oh my god, I just took this guy's, you know, this guy's workout routine, basically. Like, he's trying to sit here and work on this, and I just stole it from him. Yeah, so I start freaking out, because I'm like, oh my god, I just took this guy's workout machine. He's gonna rip my head off. I'm so scared. I really don't want to upset this guy, because he's also, like, way buffer than me. So I was like, oh shit, okay. So I said, hey, I'm sorry, if you have an extra set, like I'll just go find another machine. I'm really sorry to take this from you. And he was like, oh no, like I finished that a long time ago. I don't have to do that. I was like, oh really? He said, yeah, no, I finished that. I'm just looking for something for me and my daughter to do. And the daughter was the woman that I spoke to previously. So I didn't even know that I was talking to her, to this man's daughter. And I was like, oh, okay, awesome. Yeah, thanks. And he just like, he looked at me and just like as sincerely as possible, he said, wow, that's really nice. He's like, that right there shows that you have a really good character. And it was such a sudden, sincere compliment that I smiled back and I said, thank you so much, sir. Like that really means a lot. Like I'm glad you see me that way. That's amazing. And he said, of course. He's like, I'm a good judge of character. And he turned around and kept working out with his daughter. And I cried. I'm a bit of a waterhead. I cried almost instantly because, I mean, it was just such a sincere compliment, and I just wasn't expecting it. Like, there are certain types of compliments that I can receive that will just automatically send me into tears, and that was one of them. Like, that was just so sudden. I just was not expecting that at all. And it just hit me like a truck. I'm like, damn, this dude just, for no reason other than to be nice to me, said this super sincere compliment. And it just caught me so off guard. And I just thought about it for the rest of the day. I was like, damn, man. Like, all I did was like try to make sure that I was doing the right thing. Yeah, I still think about it because, I mean, it was just so sudden and surprising. I hope that guy's doing okay. I'm sure he is. He's probably going to outlive me. Yeah, I think another thing, just for, I guess, a point of reference, like, I am a strange guy. I'm not afraid to say it. I actually revel in being strange, because the way I see it, I think people are so afraid to be unique or memorable. People just want to like get by without being noticed. That it ends up not really working out well for them in that case, because people just won't remember you. They don't find you memorable. You're not, you weren't funny that one night that you all got together. You weren't, like hilarious, or I can only think of funny things to say, I guess, but you just weren't memorable. And I love to be memorable. I yearn to be memorable. And so I'll do whatever I can to be memorable. And by all means, do not take this as advice. Do not take this as advice, because you might get the wrong idea and start doing weird things to be memorable, but that's not what I do. I don't do weird things. I do funny weird things. Okay? So like, for example, shit, I don't know if I have any examples. I like to ask people when I first start talking to them, I like to ask them one really, really serious question. I'll get a feel for the vibes first, and if I can sense that they are like someone that doesn't like to talk or wants to be left alone, then I'll leave them alone. I'm not going to talk to them unless they, start to open up, and then I'll probably ask my question. But when I start to talk to people, I want to get a deeper understanding of them, because nothing ever meets the eye, right? I think I hear a skeleton, but I'm just too focused on mining because I'm talking. Nothing ever meets the eye, right? And what I mean by that, sorry if I'm stuttering. It's really late right now, and I'm waiting for my wife to come home. She's closing at her job, so I have to wait because I just want to make sure she's safe getting home. Um, but anyways, um, what I mean by nothing ever meets the eye is people almost 100% of the time will act out a certain way, but it's never really their true selves, and it's never really how they feel most of the times. So what I do is I like to let people know that, hey, I'm someone you can talk to. I'm someone, you can rely on. And then when we really start getting closer, we start, talking and laughing and making jokes, or, I just get a feel for the chemistry. That's when I ask a deep question. I'll try to ask the most cutting question I can think of. I wish I had examples, but I really can't remember, because normally if whoever answers it, then I know, okay, this is someone who wants to be understood. Like I'm trying to remember. I think one of my coworkers said that the first question I ever asked them, like, have you ever been in love? Or something like that. That was one question I asked. I ask a lot of weird questions. But again, that's because I'm usually sizing people up. I want to see what they're thinking, what their thought process is, and I want to know if they're even willing to answer such a question in the first place, If people are able to answer like weird questions on the fly, then that usually to me signals, hey, this person is someone who can handle anything. Like, you can be as weird as you want around them. They're not going to find it really that odd. But what I really enjoy about being weird the most is it takes the pressure off of other people around you. I love to be weird. I'll say the first thing that comes to my mind. If it obviously it's not offensive. I'm not saying weirdo shit. Like, I'm not saying like the holy shit. I'm actually so tired and I'm slurring my words. I'm not saying things like the woke moral leftists and blah da 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 da, and I'm not bringing up politics or religion, because if people want to do that, they can have their own discussions. I'm here to laugh and giggle and kick my feet. I'm not here to judge others based on their ideologies, unless it hurts or harms other people, and then in that case I would absolutely judge someone based on that. Looks like we found a little cave here, but I love to be weird. I really do. I think when I was younger, I was called weird a lot by the kids in my school, and I found that so endearing for some reason. And I think the older that I get, I realize now that weird is just another way of saying like unique or different or special in a way. Because people can't really quite place you. They don't really know how to approach you. So the first thing they can say is, yeah, he's weird, or yeah, he's... But of course, I can't recommend doing this to other people, because like it's such a fine line to walk. There's a difference in being quirky weird and, yeah, he's actually weird as fuck. Like, there's a difference. There is a huge difference. So I can't recommend doing it, but I'm telling you guys from experience, this is how I operate and conduct myself in public, around others, and it usually ends up working out really well for me, because people will understand, okay, this is someone who, isn't afraid of saying what's on his mind or what he's thinking, or to ask questions, or to embarrass himself for the sake of learning, because that is something I also do a lot. I'm very willing to embarrass myself so long as, I either learn something new or I get what I'm looking for. Um, like normally, especially in high school and in college, I loved presenting first when it came to, oh, so the first little creeper. What's up, little guy? What you doing, man? You listening to my story? Yeah, what I like to do when I was in high school and in college is I would always okay, thank you, dryer. I would always volunteer to go first in a presentation because it let me set the bar as low as possible so that others wouldn't feel pressured anymore. And that was just so awesome for me, that experience. Thank you for listening. He's a good little guy. But yeah, I still do that now in some ways where oftentimes people will tell me, like, especially some of my coworkers, they'll be like, oh, that person is attractive. And I'll just say out loud, like, why don't you go talk to him? Why don't you go? No, I could never talk to them. I don't even know what I would say. And then I always say, you want me to introduce you to them? Because even though I don't know them, it's not as hard as everyone thinks it is to talk to people you don't know. You know how simple it is to talk to someone you don't know? Because almost 100% of the time, with someone you don't know, if they're in a mood, again, I can't recommend doing this because there's a lot that goes into this. You need to have a good behavioral understanding of others around you and learn how to read emotions and things like that. Oh man, I thought we were going to be cool. Damn, that sucks. And you have to be able to read body language and stuff like that. And, a lot of people can't do that. So, again, I really can't recommend that. But what I can say is from experience that a lot of the times when I first speak to someone, they're already on guard, right? That's usually how people are. Everyone's on guard most of the times when you speak to them for the first time because they want to know, is this someone I can get along with? What does this person want from me? And what are they going to say? There's so much anxiety all in that little moment, right? That little moment, there's just so much anxiety. There's so many questions. There's so many unknowns, and there's so many possibilities that can be like taken from this. And that's where I embarrass myself.